I truly don't know how to follow such an esteemed guest list as has spoken this evening, but I'll try, inshallah. I'll be very brief because you've heard a lot and I'm sure you're ready for your kebabs now, so I promise I'll be brief. I'm going to just take a few minutes to ask for your help, and please do continue listening because I won't be asking you for money. It's usually how people start an account like that, isn't it? But it's not for money. To explain why I need your help and what with, I need to, first of all, share with you a short account from my own life. I became a Muslim at the age of 15. I'm a revert to Islam, alhamdulillah. I grew up in a Christian family, in fact within a little known Christian cult. So my understanding of religion, or indeed anything other than my own, was very austere. And it wasn't until religious education at secondary school that I began to understand that there were perspectives other than the one that I had been raised upon. And as a striving, aspiring journalist at that time, I had the opportunity to volunteer with a number of radio projects here in Glasgow, one of which was Radio Ramadan. And that was the first time I'd ever encountered anybody from a Muslim background. That encounter inspired me to study further, and one of the first books that I read was that account of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny, by Martin Lings, which made me understand the infinite relationship that exists between Christianity and Islam, and how Islam came to complete that religion, and how the Ummah of Muhammad was one that I aspired to and longed to be a part of. So alhamdulillah, I embraced Islam at 15. And as wonderful as that was, there were a lot of things people didn't tell me. They didn't tell me, for example, that I would be faced with years of fitna between myself and my family, years of separation, in fact, in which I wouldn't be able to walk outside with my own father because he was so embarrassed about my hijab. They didn't tell me, for example, that to seek an informed Islamic education here in Glasgow, I would struggle with the English language, and ironically would end up having to learn Urdu in order to get a foothold in some of our masjids. They didn't tell me, for example, that Eid would come and go, and I would spend so many Eids alone, wondering what community I had come to. My journey to Islam was not all bad, and alhamdulillah, I was blessed with many brothers and sisters who gave of their time, their energy, and themselves to help me and others like me integrate. But the reason I'm sharing with you some accounts that are not so good is because I did say to you at the beginning that I needed your help, didn't I? And despite the fact that alhamdulillah, Islam continues to be the fastest growing religion in the world, the account of what happened to me is an account that doesn't differ very much from that of other reverts who come to the religion today. Many still report that they feel shunned and ostracized from our masjids. They struggle to find marriage partners within the community because we put culture, caste, zat and ethnicity above the inclusiveness of our ummah. They struggle to reconcile their Islam with their families, so they are further isolated from their own families and from their former friends. And a study that was carried out by the Mark Field Dawah Centre in Leicester reported that between 40 and 50% of new converts leave Islam within the first 2 years because they don't find a home within this community. And that's why I need your help. Because a lot of people think that this is the work of an Islamic organization or a center, and they forget the fact that this is the work of all of us. We will never change inclusion in this community until we start to embrace and become the change that we desire to see in this community. We need to start embracing not only reverts, but all those who still remain on the margins of our community, in the same way that our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, and his holy progeny did when he established the Muslim Ummah. He integrated reverts into the heart of the community, often giving them superior roles and responsibility to indicate to the Quraysh and the established tribes that Islam puts only faith or iman above caste, zat, colour, ethnicity, and all other forms of difference. What other example do we need when it comes to stressing the importance of inclusiveness within our community? And if we don't support reverts, the support that we give to their non-Muslim family is non-existent. A lot of families are opposed to their sons, daughters, brothers, sisters becoming Muslim because of what they see on TV. Tragically, they read the Daily Mail and they believe that we all belong to ISIS. What they need is a guiding hand to show them Islam in its most beautiful form, through the example of our Prophet, to show them that they have not lost their sons and daughters to some unknown cult. Rather, their children have chosen a path that will, inshallah, aspire and motivate them to greater things. But I can't do this alone. I need your help, your centres, your individual time, commitment, love, motivation to this cause. So I request all of you to go back to your community organisations, go back to your homes and your families, and be the change that you want to see. If you know that somebody is alone on Eid, welcome them into your home. If you know that somebody cannot access your Islamic centre because there is no disability access, make the access happen. If there is no English in your Islamic centre, promote English. Not because English is superior, but because English is a vehicle to which we can unite Muslims, whether we're from an Urdu, Arabic, Iranian background, whether we're Muslim or non-Muslim, we can be united under this one language. These are things that we all need to promote. And I know that speaking to an esteemed audience like this, you know these things. But sometimes, and I put myself before all of you, sometimes the gap between what we know and how we translate this into meaningful action is often very large. And that's why this is a nasiha to all of you as much as it is to me. And like I say, often people say, this is the work of organisations, and anyway, if we talk about unity, there's not much point because nothing ever changes, and nothing will ever change unless we become that change. So I ask all of you to give of your time, your motivation, your commitment to building a more inclusive society for our reverts and for others as well, because together we are stronger, and together we can make a difference, inshallah.